Have you ever stopped to think that the age on your ID might be completely different from the real age of your body? Science calls this your biological age, and it can be 10, 20, or even 30 years younger than your chronological age, depending on the choices you make every single day. The big problem is that most people believe aging is the same as losing energy, memory, strength, and joy in life. But the truth is this: it's not time that ages us. It's the habits we build or fail to build. And here's the good news: changing this doesn't require miracle formulas or expensive treatments. Longevity research shows that there are small, simple habits that can rejuvenate both body and mind at any age. And today, I, Dr. Vitallis, will share with you 5 of these habits that can transform the way you age, or better yet, the way you stay young. If you apply at least one of them starting today, you will feel a difference in your energy, in your mood, and even in the way your body responds to daily life. So stay with me until the end, because in the last habit, I'm going to reveal what science calls the hidden secret of youth, something most people forget, but that is just as powerful as food or exercise. And before we continue, make sure to subscribe to the Longevity channel and hit the notification bell, because every week I bring you science-based insights to help you live longer and better. The first habit that can rejuvenate your body and mind is smart movement. We're not talking about spending hours at the gym or doing intense workouts that only athletes can handle. Science shows that small doses of daily movement are already enough to slow down aging and even increase life expectancy. Walking for 20 to 30 minutes, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, stretching in the morning, or simply keeping your body active throughout the day are simple but extremely effective strategies. These small movements improve blood circulation, deliver more oxygen to the brain, and stimulate the release of neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, which boost mood and mental clarity. And here's a remarkable study from Harvard Medical School, which followed more than 2,800 people over the age of 65. Researchers found that those who slept less than 5 hours per night had twice the risk of developing dementia and also twice the risk of premature death compared to those who slept between 6 and 8 hours. This shows that sleep is not just rest, it is one of the main protective factors for the mind and longevity. I remember one of my patients, Mr. Roberto, who was 58 years old. He worked long hours every day and slept on average only 4 to 5 hours per night. He constantly complained of fatigue, lack of concentration, and bouts of irritability. We decided to adjust his routine with small changes, reducing screen time at night, creating a relaxation ritual before bed, and keeping regular sleep and wake times. Within a few weeks, Mr. Roberto reported having more energy, sharper memory, and even a better mood. Today, he admits that taking care of his sleep was like gaining a new life. And so that you too can achieve perfect sleep, here are some simple but powerful guidelines. Lighting. Reduce exposure to blue light from phones, computers, and TVs at least 1 hour before bed. Choose warmer, yellow lights in the evening, which help the body produce melatonin. Routine. Create a fixed schedule to sleep and wake up, even on weekends. Regularity teaches the brain to naturally enter rest mode. Environment. Keep your bedroom dark, quiet, and cool. If possible, use blackout curtains and maintain a temperature between 65 degrees Fahrenheit and 70 degrees Fahrenheit, which favors deep sleep. Nutrition. Avoid caffeine, alcohol, and heavy meals at night. Choose something light and nourishing, such as a relaxing tea or a piece of fruit. Relaxation. Establish a ritual to signal your body that it's time to rest. It can be light reading, meditation, deep breathing, or even a warm bath.
The secret, therefore, is not just to sleep more, but to sleep better. When you create the right environment and respect these small habits, you transform your nights into true youth recharges for both body and mind. The third essential habit for rejuvenating both body and mind is anti-inflammatory nutrition. What you put on your plate every day can either accelerate aging or significantly slow it down, Ultra-processed foods, rich in sugars and unhealthy fats, increase silent inflammation in the body. This chronic inflammation acts like a low flame, slowly burning the body from within, contributing to heart disease, type 2 diabetes, Alzheimer's, and even some types of cancer. On the other hand, adding anti-inflammatory foods can act as a true protective shield against premature aging. Berries, dark green vegetables, olive oil, omega-3 rich fish, turmeric, and ginger are among the most powerful allies of cellular youth. And here's a curious fact. A study published in the British Journal of Nutrition found that people who follow a diet rich in anti-inflammatory foods have about a 20% lower risk of premature death compared to those who consume highly inflammatory diets. In other words, eating well is not just about aesthetics or body shape. It is literally a survival and longevity strategy. Another key factor is consuming enough high-quality protein. Protein not only helps preserve muscle mass, which is essential for healthy aging, but it also increases the feeling of fullness. Including good sources of protein, such as eggs, fish, lean meats, or legumes, reduces nighttime hunger and prevents those high-calorie late-night snacks that harm both digestion and sleep quality. The body responds quickly to these changes. Within just a few weeks of dietary adjustments, it's possible to notice improvements in energy, mental focus, sleep, and even skin appearance. Therefore, choose foods that nourish and protect. Small swaps make a big difference. Replace soda with lemon water, fried foods with grilled meals, processed snacks with fruits, nuts, or a light protein source. The power of youth may be hiding in something as simple as your next meal. The fourth essential habit to keep your body and mind young is stress management. Stress itself is not entirely bad. In small doses, it can even help us stay focused and motivated. The problem is chronic stress, when the body remains in a constant state of alert, as if it were stuck in fight or flight mode that never switches off. In this state, there is a continuous and excessive production of cortisol, the so-called stress hormone. In excess, it increases inflammation, disrupts sleep, accelerates skin aging, promotes abdominal fat accumulation, and even weakens the immune system. It's like the body were fighting an invisible war every single day, draining vital energy and wearing down the organs little by little. And here's a curious fact. Researchers at the University of California found that people exposed to high levels of stress had significantly shorter telomeres, the structures that protect DNA, compared to people with lower stress levels. Shorter telomeres are directly linked to premature aging and a higher risk of chronic diseases. This means that each prolonged period of stress can literally shorten your lifespan. But how can you tell if you're living under chronic stress? Some common signs include physical, frequent headaches, muscle tension, palpitations, constant fatigue; mental, difficulty concentrating, poor memory, feeling constantly on edge; emotional, irritability, constant anxiety, sadness without a clear reason; behavioral, trouble sleeping, food cravings, especially for sweets and carbs; overuse of coffee, alcohol, or cigarettes. If these signs repeat themselves for days or weeks, it's a strong indication that your body is stuck in the cycle of chronic stress. The good news is that there are simple and natural ways to reduce its impact. Practice deep breathing or mindfulness techniques. Schedule moments of silence and pause throughout the day. Create and maintain a proper sleep routine. Engage in enjoyable hobbies such as music, reading, gardening, or spending time in nature. Most importantly, cultivate positive social relationships, which work as a protective emotional buffer. Managing stress doesn't mean eliminating life's problems, but rather changing the way your body and mind respond to them. When you learn to reduce chronic stress, you not only improve your mood and energy, but also protect yourselves and add years of quality life. The fifth habit to keep body and mind young may surprise you: cultivating good social connections. This is the hidden secret of youth that often goes unnoticed, but science has proven it to be just as powerful as healthy eating or physical exercise.
Living in isolation or without strong bonds significantly increases the risk of depression, anxiety, cardiovascular disease, and even premature death. According to the American Heart Association, social isolation can be as harmful to health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. This shows how crucial human bonds are to vitality. And here's an impressive fact: the Harvard study of adult development, which began in 1938 and is still ongoing, followed more than 700 people for decades. The conclusion was clear: the happiest and healthiest people in old age were those who cultivated quality relationships. More than wealth, fame, or even genetics, social bonds prove to be the greatest protective factor for a long and fulfilling life. I remember Mrs. Maria, who was 72 years old. She had lost her husband a few years earlier and had gradually withdrawn from the activities she used to enjoy, spending most of her time alone at home. When she talked about her routine, the weight of loneliness was clear: irregular sleep, lack of appetite, and a constant fatigue that never went away. I suggested that she try to reconnect with people, something simple but meaningful to her. Little by little, she began attending a local music group, at first just watching, then joining the singing and guitar circles. Within weeks, she was smiling more easily, dressing with more joy, and even cooking recipes she had abandoned. Months later, she told me she didn't just feel alive, but that she felt like she belonged again. Today, she herself says that rebuilding those connections gave her back her energy and her will to live. This is the secret that many people forget: youth is not only in the body or the mind, but also in the relationships we build. Investing in social connections is investing in health, vitality, and longevity. Because in the end, living longer only makes sense when we have someone to share life with. Now that you've learned these 5 habits that rejuvenate body and mind at any age, remember, it's not about radical changes or instant miracles, but about small choices repeated every single day. The secret to longevity lies in consistency. Moving your body, taking care of your sleep, choosing foods that nourish, learning to manage stress, and cultivating true connections. Together, these form a powerful set that can transform the way you age. And if there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, it's that youth is not just a number on your ID, but the reflection of the habits you cultivate and the relationships you build. So tell me in the comments, which of these 5 habits do you already practice, and which one will you start today? I'd love to hear your answer. And before you go, make sure to subscribe to the Longevity channel, hit the notification bell, and share this video with someone you love. Because when we spread knowledge, we help more people live with health, vitality, and joy. I'm Dr. Vitallis, and I'll see you in the next video.